Hey guys, it's Dale at Whole Shot Retirement Shop, cancer victim. I'm 13 days in after my chemo, and it's been rough, but I'm having a little better day today. I've gone through some hell. One time it was 105-degree temperature, and I should have went to the ER because the guy tells me I could have dropped dead from maybe an infection, but I said, okay doc, I will next time. But anyway, I'm feeling a little better today. I'm still wore out, but I thought this is a nice day to, since I do feel a little better, let's get this puppy pulled apart. This is the cam snapper motor. So this is my original old GS1150E motor. You've already seen the other video of me just talking about a few things. Here's the bike it's going to go in, cam snapper. And I'm just going to pull down the bottom end. A lot of you guys have done this a million times. Most people haven't. So I'm not going to take a video of everything. I'm just telling you what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll take a video of little pieces and parts, and I'll take some pictures or something. So, all right. So I'll go to the next step. Hope you're all doing well, and I'm trying my best, buddies. I'm not going to give up. We'll get through this. I got this to ride. I got Ratsuki to ride. I got Little Blue over here to ride. I got a new toy over there in that cover I'm going to show you to ride. So, okay, see you in a bit. Okay, got the dyno cover off. Unfortunately, through my move, I lost my freaking flywheel puller. And these take the 30 millimeter by 125 right-hand thread outside. Just ordered one. I'll have it tomorrow. That's okay. I can still split the cases with this on, I believe. So yeah, I got the sprocket off, gear indicator off, little case splitter here over the rubber cap there in the case out. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'll go ahead and I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and take the clutch all apart first. I'll spin it around, pull the cover off, take the whole clutch hub off, everything off under there. A little plate on the side that holds the cases together, the oil pump. But so far, look at this thing inside. It looks just as good as the camshaft. Look at that thing. Yeah, and this is the original sprocket, even though it's rusty. Look at the teeth. I mean, that thing had to have, what, 10, 12,000 miles on it at the most, so that's why this motor is looking so good. Nice to have the old parts to look at. So, okay, well, let me keep moving forward, and I'll check in and take a few pictures and get the clutch pulled apart, and I'll be back. Okay, guys, getting closer. So, got the whole clutch hub apart. See how bitchin', see the back of the clutch hub? God, this motor's incredible. All the clutch plates, there was none of them burned up or anything, but look at the condition of this stock hub. You know, most of them are beat up somewhat and little loose springs. Look at that thing. Beautiful. Definitely a really nice clutch hub for somebody with a stock bike, that's for sure. So, yeah, so now I'm going to get all this stuff out here. You got to take the plate apart here. You got to take, I'm going to go ahead and take the oil pump drive gear off. And then these three screws, which is, you know, these are cherry, so I want to keep them cherry. I have new ones, and I like using stock new ones, but I'll tap on those with my special bit. Bump, 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 bump. Tiny little ball peen. And then my impact breaker by hand. This one off with the gasket and pull the shift shaft clear out. It's got a circlip on the other side. Whole shift shaft will pull out of there. And then I'll take the shift paw stop off first, and then I'll pull the shift paw off with the little springs with the little arms that pop out that engage it for each gear. And you know, that shit all falls apart. It's got to come apart anyway, because I'll probably send this, I'm going to send this tranny to Paul for me, Paul Gaston, and he usually wants the drum, so that's got to come off anyway. So let me get this stripped out, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so you want a proper fitting bit. I've had these heavy duty ones for years, but I'm running out. And then I even take a little bit off the tip so you get full depth of the screws. Because, man, if you strip the head of these screws, it's a pain in the ass. Then you have to drill them and you have to extract them. And so I make sure that my bit is good. Put it in like this, right? And then you don't have to beat the hell out of it. Just about 3 good, like that. You don't have to break anything. Hold it in place. Good impact driver. And you don't hit your hand. And that's loose. And then just use the same bit in the impact driver. It's got knurled. Instead of a T-handle, take the screw out. And then your cherry screws, you don't have to order a bike because they're still cherry. And what I like to use are these muffin pans. I've always done this for all my little parts. And that way you can keep, here's the you know, crank nut, sprocket nut. Here's the starter drive, the rotor with the cherry little screws I took out for the pickup plate. They're perfect still. Here's your clutch springs. So now I'll start stacking these little plates in this one here. That's what's really slick, instead of a bunch of bags, having things scattered. And then I just lay everything out like that until I'm ready to work on the bike. So that's just a little tip, upward and onward. Okay guys, got that all pulled apart. Things looking cherry. This doesn't have to come apart to lift the upper case off. May have to take that off though, so when I take the tranny apart. So now, ready to remove all the upper case bolts. Along here, there's a couple long ones here. And I think that's about it. And then we can roll the motor upside down and pull the oily pan and the lower case bolts and a couple up at the crank. But another thing is I want to tell you about the here. See those screws? They're longer for this than they are for like these little plates around the shift drum paw. So that's why I use this kind of stuff. I put the screws with those, screws with those, screw with this plate. These are the same as these. And when you're ready to go, you're not going, oh crap, I just bottomed them out and ruined my threads. So, okay, onward and upward. Working on the bottom case here. Got all the bolts out. I had to order a flywheel puller, but this thing could come apart with that on it, if I remember right. But I got one problem child, and I do not want to break it off in the case. This bolt will not come loose, and it's a long one. So first step was I beat on it with my brass drift, you know, boom, boom, boom a few times. Not real hard, letting the hammer bounce off, and trying to use my T-handle and then my 3/8 ratchet with the extension handle. And it's, I do not want to break that in the case. So a Loctite all these years, or corrosion, a little corrosion in there. That's a long bolt too, man, if it'll snap off. So I'm going to go ahead and get a propane torch. It's going to be Smoky Joe. I'm going to wipe all this off a little more. I'm going to heat all this area up right here and all this area up right here. And that's your last hope of trying to break it loose gently with the ratchet. So I'm going to work on that right now. Okay, I'm going to just concentrate on this lower area here, right? It's a long ass bolt, probably in that deep. Luckily, the crankshaft's out of the way. You're not going to hurt the gear anyway, but this is your gear I'm replacing anyway with a straight foot. Putting some heat on it. I can only kind of go in this far. I can kind of go at an angle. You just want to stay back. Torch turned on about that much. Yeah, lucky I wiped most of the oil out. It's gonna smell, but not gonna freaking smoke you out and light on fire. But I'm gonna put quite a bit of heat on it. I'll come up a little bit just so I can expand this very top surface, where a mating surface there. You're not going to hurt the case or that gear. Yeah, this is the only big hurdle other than missing my flywheel puller. I'm tired, boys. I'm tired. My chemo's kicking in right now, but I'm on a mission. I'm not going to pull the cranker trans out, but if I can get this bolt out, come hell or high water. If I can't get the bolt out, I'm going to stop, and I'm going to start another day. Right now I need to rest, but we'll see how I'm going to give it my old college try here. I used to sleeve cylinders when I was a kid. I learned at 19 years old at Coast Honda. And the old Hondas, we'd make like 550 Hondas, 650s, and I'd be walking around the cylinder up on V blocks. It's going around the whole thing. I used a torch with the big, you know, big tip on the end, and just keep walking around, right. You know, you're gonna melt it. I said, no. I got used to how much they would glow without the fins falling off. And all of a sudden, tink, 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 each slide would fall on the floor. That was cool. All right. I'm going to go ahead and try it. If it doesn't work, I'll do it again.
You want me to hold that? Shut this off? Huh?
You turned it off?
No.
Oh.
Still on.
No, it's going to accomplish or not. See, this sucker's, it's twisting. Yeah, it's freaking risky. Oh man, I'm worried. Look at that. I'm putting pretty good load on it right now. Oh, god damn it. I'll do it again. That sucks. Finally found a problem child. Yeah. I don't have my acetylene. I'd use my real torch if I had it. Well. Well, worst comes to worst. You have no choice but to crack it and break it off and then fix it. You know, I'm not done yet. That thing is stuck. I can't get to the other side. Shut that off for a second, Kurt. Let me make sure this fits in here. All right. Got it on? Okay, here we go. We got the flex out of the other ratchet now, and I got directly on with the 1/2-inch drive. deep socket barely fits in there, but it does. And unless the case is breaking off, the bolt's coming out. Look down in there, Kurt, with the camera, and let me get the T-handle. And just keep an eye down there. So now I just got my normal T-handle up here, 12 millimeter. Okay, now up here, Kurt.
It's gonna be hot.
Thank effing God, huh?
Yeah.
And
Any
it
metal
didn't
in it?
take any aluminum. That sucker was just really Loctited and had a little corrosion. It's a little bunged up a little bit, but I think it's going to be okay. I'm about to clear off all my mess here. I got to get in the house, I'm dying. But here's the pan I just pulled. It's just dirty oil, but these zero metal, a couple little tiny little pieces. This is just from years of sitting, normal stuff. Nothing serious yet, I see. That's what it looks like here. So, yeah. I got to take this bolt off, and the pan out of the way, and a couple more bolts in here. Hopefully those aren't stuck. Okay, that's the next step. All right, so the cases are pretty glued together. I used a dead blow, and then I was slightly heavier one with nylon ends. And I gently tapped on this boss here, and I could hear the tone of the case slightly change, but it still was stuck. So what you can do, Suzuki has these special holes here. If you got the proper nut, you have to almost take a nut and grind a nut so it fits on here, and then a bolt, and it acts as a puller, because it goes through and pushes that boss in the case, but I don't have that right now. So if you take a super thin putty knife, this outer part, about 1/4 inch, is not the gasket surface, see? And I already heard the noise change, so I came in just on the corner of that, and it started in. And then I went this, and then I went by hand, and I slid it all in like that. And I pried it a couple times, and it was lifting a little bit, and so I kind of held the case, pulled it out, and then I put my putty knife that I put a nice smooth radius on, and it was able to just slide right in. This one's real strong, and I pried, and boom, broke loose. So you got to be careful. You don't want to screw up your gasket surface. And this is just old school tricks without being a hack, okay? But the real way to do it is you go make a couple special set of a nut, 8 millimeters, going to be ground out, and then a bolt with the head, hex head, and then you put that one and one on the front. You work the case like that. And that's what it's made to do. But you can use this. It doesn't hurt it if you do it right. Okay, let me get the case pulled off. I'm going to clear this off, and then we'll look at it, turn it over, and we'll look at the trans crank. I forgot one more little tip I want to tell you guys. This works slick. It's just a spray can top, but you got to have the one that has about 1.25 inch lip, the opening in the center, and then see the shift paw I took out, the motor. Let's get a better light here. Yeah, those little arms that stick out, and the pins are under them, and springs. You know, once they come apart, they're just a hassle to get back together and do right. So when you slide it out of the engine, squeeze those two little arms together, and if you have the right spray cap, this happens to be on with a Dupa color, Ratsuki color, but I measured the top of the lip of the can, you know, where the cap contacts and snaps on. It's about 1.25 inches. And those work slick as can be, because not all spray cans are the same, but that's what I do. And then it's ready for install. Next time you just grab with your fingers and slide it in the case and line it up. All right, first time this case has been taken off this motor ever. It's 1983 or 4, I forget what year this motor is. That's going to be interesting. All right. Thank God I didn't break that freaking bolt off. See, it's this one right here, or it's this one. It looks good. First, I'll buy a brand new bolt, and I'll use the bolt with some tapping oil, and I'll gently run it in and out. And if that cleans the threads up a little bit, that's better than a tap, because no matter what, you run a good tap in there. Taps vary in sizes, you'll take metal with it. You don't want to do that. But I'm so glad that sucker came out. So first, let's take a look at the shift forks. This is kind of a telltale sign if this thing was beat on or not. And the rest of it sure doesn't look like it. And I can already see they're freaking cherry. This one here's got a little wear. That's just normal. You know, it's not bent or anything. How's this side look? Those are good looking shift forks. I would put a brand new one in a race motor, but I've run worse than those. These are perfect. Shift drum looks beautiful. You know, why shouldn't it? This is just shit down in the motor from me taking it apart. Dirt falling in there. But now we can quickly look. I'm sure the tranny, but what I'm seeing now is going to look just as good. But let's just take a peek here. It's all oily, so it's kind of hard to see, but see on this side, Kurt. Look at all the stock gear dogs. Are beautiful. Look. And the window dog, the oval. They're nice. Yeah. It looks like a really cherry stock transmission. So, you know, for what my purpose is going to do, it might save me money. The bearing's got to be perfect. So maybe I'll put the output shaft in it, first, second, third gear. I'll make a 1-2 auto, and then I'll have Paul put his billet shift fork in it with its spring loaded. So if I come down off a wheel stand in first, it ratchets and doesn't bend the shift fork. And I'll save my money on the bearings because I never used to run heavy duty bearings in my life. So anyway, yeah, crank looks all nice. I guarantee you those rod bearings are just as good as the top of the rods. So, all right, guys, that's going to do it. That's going to do it. I survived. Trust me, it's about, what time is it, Kurt? About 8. I took a lunch break, then we had the problem with the freaking bolt.
Yeah, about 7:40. Yeah.
But anyway, here's cam snapper. It's pulled apart. I was almost going to give up about that bolt, but it did it. So that's great. All right, guys, take care. Stay safe. Stay healthy. And I'll fight, fight, fight.